Right, so usually on this channel, we're deep into high gain, heavy riffs, but recently I stumbled down an absolute rabbit hole about an amp builder I honestly didn't really know that much about at all. Dumble amps. Turns out, these things are legendary. It's like a whole different universe of guitar tone that apparently is incredibly sought after. And the prices, they're absolutely insane. So being sent this JHS Notadumble kit, a solderless DIY way to get your hands on a legendary sought after amp, really sparked my curiosity. So today, we're going on a bit of a journey. We're going to build this thing, and we're going to explore the legendary sound that honestly, I'm pretty new to. Don't really know anything about it. But we're going to do it the Jamie Slays way, find out what all the fuss is about, to basically a metal player like me. So a big shout out to JHS for sending this out and basically challenging me to get into the whole Dumble thing. They're also sponsoring today's video, so massive thanks for supporting the channel and all of you lot watching. So here it is, the JHS Notadumble. Honestly, I didn't know much about Dumble amps or its creator Alexander Dumble before getting this kit. I'd heard the name mentioned like it was some mythical thing, but I didn't really grasp why. But after doing some research, I started to understand why these amps are so sought after. Turns out, Dumble was this near legendary boutique builder, crafting amps one by one. The tone is apparently incredible, famous for this super smooth, touch-sensitive overdrive. Combine that with the fact that he built so few, was really secretive about his designs, sometimes covering them in goop, means original amps now cost insane money, easily 6 figures. So here it is, the JHS Notadumble, all built, it's done. And I've got to say, for my first ever pedal build, I was actually seriously impressed with how JHS handled this kit. The absolute best part for me, well, no soldering. As someone who's never really touched a soldering iron, that was absolutely brilliant news. The thing I love the most about building this pedal, it was genuinely straightforward. The whole thing was incredibly quick, took me no time at all, maybe like 20 minutes maximum. Honestly, if you've ever thought about building a pedal, but you felt intimidated, this JHS solderless approach is absolutely fantastic. It's so simple, even I could do it myself with limited to absolutely no experience at all. I've never touched a soldering iron, and it feels great to basically now get to play with something that I built myself. So thanks again, JHS. Moment of truth. What does the Dumble sound actually feel like to someone like me, who's basically used to high gain, aggressive metal amps? Plug it in and find out. Okay, diving into this JHS Notadumble. For me, this was about exploring the almost mythical Howard Dumble sound. I really wasn't sure what to expect. The pedal gives you 2 core sounds via the little slider switch. The clean sound is supposedly linked to Mayer's own personal gear. Then when you flip the slider, you're then in drive mode. Now, this actually really surprised me. Knowing that Dumble's amps are usually associated primarily with blues and fusion guitarists, I maybe expected something purely smooth. But this mode had a lot more grunt and gain on tap than I first anticipated. I actually found the sweet spot was keeping the drive dial right about noon, 12 o'clock, instead of pushing it all the way to 11. It really gave me some old school warm classic rock type tones, which actually really surprised me. Getting that kind of satisfying rock rhythm sound from a pedal, nodding to an amp maker often pigeonholed into blues, felt much more versatile than I expected. Right, switching things up significantly now. I've got my Harley Benton Explorer copy here, loaded with EMG active pickups, so we're definitely in higher output territory. I'm generally more of a metal focused player, so while I appreciated the tones I got earlier, a big question for me is always about versatility and gain. So let's try and beef this Notadumble up a bit. My main curiosity here was really focused on the drive channel. How well does this pedal actually take a boost when aiming for something heavier? I think it really handled the 80s metal style super well, Motley Crue, Metallica, those kind of things. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. Again, for a pedal with Dumble DNA, hitting that drive mode with the Nemesis boost handled those heavier riffs quite well. Hearing it crunch through those Motley Crue rhythms with that added aggression from the boost, and then even managing to stay defined enough for some faster Metallica style chugs, yeah, you definitely handled it much better than I had predicted. I guess it does ultimately prove that the drive channel does have room to be pushed. The boost adds the necessary saturation and tightens the low end enough to cope with those heavier styles, especially with the higher output pickups. I'm really glad it didn't just turn into a muddy mess. There was actually still loads of note definition in there. So the answer is yes, you can definitely push this into heavier zones with the right boost, which was another nice surprise from this little DIY kit. So now, what do I really think? I actually think that you shouldn't be apprehensive like I was at first about this pedal. This Dumble style pedal is way more versatile than I ever actually imagined it could be. Honestly, I was really pleasantly surprised by the results. I reckon you could easily use this for so many different guitar styles. It's super well rounded, and it really does give you that plug in and play experience. Now I get why people hype up these tones so much and why everybody wants to own a Dumble. I literally had no idea before this. And now you can actually get one for a super realistic price. You don't have to pay 6 figures to own one. And look, it's genuinely a really solid option, even for heavier guitar tones. I mean, it sounded huge when I put that boost pedal in front of it as well. Massive thanks again, as always, to JHS for backing the channel and sponsoring this video. This pedal was so much fun. And thanks to you lot for hanging out and having a listen and finding out about this pedal with me in real time. And for those of you out there who absolutely love Dumble amps, let us know in the comments why you do and what you thought of this pedal. Let's all have a chat about it.